Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Today I want us to venture into a topic which I know most people on this channel are not comfortable with. Raila Odinga succession politics. Who is likely to succeed Raila Amolo Odinga? In Nyanza, let us begin with Nyanza first. Who is likely to succeed Raila Amolo Odinga? I know most Raila Odinga supporters are yet to heal. I know most Raila Odinga supporters believes very strongly that Raila Odinga was rigged out. And I also know that majority of Raila Odinga supporters are still waiting for a word from him as far as the future of Luo Nyanza politics and Kenya in general is concerned. But I have a list of 7 individuals who are emerging in Nyanza. And one of these individuals will definitely succeed Raila Amolo Odinga. But before we get into the list, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, I want you to take a second or two, click that subscribe button there, so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Let us begin, and I don't want to take much of your time. We all know that for the past several years, I think from the time Jaramogi died, and when Raila Odinga got his footing in 1997 up to now, he's been the leader of the Luo nation, the leader of ODM party, and the leader of Kenya in general. And because charity begins at home, let us focus first of all on the emerging leaders from Nyanza. When I talk of Nyanza, I am talking of the 6 counties of Nyanza. Who is likely to succeed Raila Amolo Odinga? In my view, the first individual, and he must be watched very closely, is Simba Arati. Let me tell you something which you don't know. Simba Arati began his politics as a councillor in Nairobi. He was I actually was nominated as a councillor in Nairobi. Raila Odinga nominated Simba Arati because Simba Arati contested as a very young guy. Then he created a lot of commotion and confusion. So when he was defeated, Raila Odinga saw something in Simba Arati and he nominated him to the county assembly. After that, then Raila Odinga enabled him and he contested in Dagoretti North, where he won. And even the move by Simba Arati to move to Kisii, for me, I always believe that it had the blessing of Raila Amolo Odinga. So Simba Arati has been one of Raila Odinga's key allies in Nairobi and now in Kisii. Simba Arati has characteristics which will automatically make him the next leader of Luo Nyanza. His brand of politics resonates so well, especially with the Luos. Number 2, he stood with Raila Amolo Odinga. And the fact that he has stood with Raila Odinga for a long time, it means Luos will find it easy and comfortable to actually go ahead and support him. And lastly, Simba Arati is one of the guys who can protect the votes. The truth of the matter is that majority of Raila Odinga supporters, especially from Nyanza, believes very strongly that for them they did everything for Raila Odinga. The only thing which was left was protecting the votes. Simba Arati was in Kisii, but is still being credited for protecting the votes during that elections which took place in Mombasa. The other one I think was in Tiati, you know, the Kakamega. So Simba Arati is credited with the ability to protect votes. And those are some of the attributes which majority of Nyanza people would always look for. Let me just use example of Kalonzo. Kalonzo is a good person. Me personally, I can support him. But if you compare Kalonzo brands of politics and Simba Arati brand of politics will appeal more to the Luos, for example, and automatically he will have the support of the Kisii. So Simba Arati is an individual I strongly believe will succeed Raila Odinga. My worry is that the way it's moving in Kisii, the cartels might regroup to fight him. I also know that Simba Arati might not work with Ruto. And since he might not work with Ruto, Ruto might engineer his removal or his defeat, but it's still too early. So that's the first person. The second person is Babu Owino. Now, we are talking of Nyanza. Babu Owino will definitely succeed Raila Odinga in terms of the Luo politics. Everything favors Babu Owino. Babu Owino is an experienced politician, having served as the longest serving chairperson of SONU. He gained a lot of experience there, which means Babu Owino does not really need any introduction. In fact, during the campaign, they just concluded the campaign, Babu Owino was the darling of the people apart from Raila Odinga. So every time they would go to a place, people would demand Babu Owino to speak. And Babu Owino is someone who is acceptable. And apart from that, it's very difficult to rob Babu Owino his victory because he understands the game. In 2017, President Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto by that time tried everything possible to stop Babu Owino from becoming the member of parliament. He managed to win. So Babu Owino, in my view, is someone who will definitely succeed Raila Odinga. Age is on his side. Babu Owino is charismatic. Babu Owino is sharp. Babu Owino is educated. You know, he has everything. He's smart. Babu Owino is keeping tabs of every other thing. And importantly, in Luo Nyanza, when you talk to people now, they view Babu Owino as the automatic successor to Raila Odinga. The only thing which Babu Owino will need is kind of guidance and mentorship. If he can get people who can really mold him, he will definitely become the next big thing in Nyanza. The third individual is Okoth Obado. You know, Okoth Obado has also created a niche for himself, politically speaking. He became the first governor to be elected on a different party, PDP, in 2013. In 2017, he came to ODM and was re-elected on ODM ticket. But after that re-election, Okoth Obado started pursuing his own political path away from Raila Odinga. In fact, as we speak, Okoth Obado is one of the key players in William Ruto's camp. He's always being projected there as the face of Kenya. The only challenge with Obado, and I know it will take him a lot of time, is the fact that Luos normally don't forgive. They view him as a betrayer of the community. You see, he's a gentleman who, he has the money. Okoth Obado has been a governor, you know, he understands politics, he relates well, having been playing politics in the village. But there's something which I think the people of Nyanza will still have with him. Unless William Ruto will appoint him as a cabinet secretary, and unless he will be able to deliver. But Okoth Obado is a potential. Is someone who is going to emerge from the other side of politics, the other side of the political divide. So Okoth Obado is someone which can also be watched. And number 4, in my view, is Eliud Wanja. Why Eliud Wanja? Eliud Wanja was a close ally of Raila Odinga, close aide. Eliud Wanja was the chief strategist for Raila Odinga. That was in 2013. Eliud Wanja was Raila Odinga's chief campaign manager in 2013. Eliud Wanja became so powerful around Raila Odinga and he had to go. The removal or the fallout between Eliud Wanja and Raila Odinga were actually engineered by external forces. After 2013 general election, there were leaders from Nyanza who believed that Raila Odinga was not going to rise again. So they saw Eliud Wanja as someone who was likely to succeed Raila Odinga. So they engineered fallout between the two. Then Eliud Wanja started charting his own political path. In fact, let me tell you the truth. The person who introduced me to Raila Odinga was Eliud Wanja. And Eliud Wanja had contacts of almost everybody. When you talk of Luo leaders, the Kalenjin elders, you know, those groundsmen, Eliud Wanja. So some leaders from Nyanza thought Raila Odinga was not going to be a factor in 2017, so they wanted Eliud Wanja to get out because they feared that having been Raila Odinga campaign manager, having worked very closely with Raila Odinga, he was destined. And of course, Eliud Wanja is also a firebrand politician. His kind of politics is loved by majority of the Luos. So after the fallout, Eliud Wanja decided to pursue his own political path. As fate would have it, Eliud Wanja today stands a chance of being appointed as a cabinet secretary in William Ruto's government. And I know either Eliud Wanja or Eliud Wanja or Obado are likely to be nominated, one of them, as a cabinet secretary. But if Eliud Wanja will be nominated as a cabinet secretary, I can assure you, is one gentleman who will definitely be a factor in Luo Nyanza politics. Number 5, in my view, is Raphael Tuju. You know, Raphael Tuju is being viewed as someone, a prodigal son by the Luos. The only disadvantage is that Raila Odinga never became the president of the Republic of Kenya. But Raphael Tuju was first elected, was it in 2002? Became a minister, fell out with Raila Odinga. In 2007, lost. 2013, he was a factor. 2017, he became the Secretary General of Jubilee, a close ally of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And then, as fate would have it, he became a close ally again of Raila Odinga. Why Raphael Tuju? Raphael Tuju has the networks, having served with Jubilee. He's acceptable. Kikuyu should easily accept Raphael Tuju. That's a fact. The Luos will easily accept Tuju because he's viewed as someone who is development oriented. So if you look at all these people who are likely to succeed Raila Odinga, Raphael Tuju is one of them. Raphael Tuju. I don't know his next move, but if he will decide to start pursuing his politics, Raphael Tuju can easily succeed Raila Odinga. Number 6, in my view, is David Otiende, the Ugenya Member of Parliament. David Otiende was among the group of young Turks who were elected in 2013. The group of Ken Obura, Silvanus Osoro, my friend Agostino Neto, there was George Oner, my friend. You know, that golden group, the young guys. I see people celebrate challenges for electing young people. In 2013, Luo Nation elected very young people. Then this group started rebelling against the old guards within ODM party. It's very difficult to fight those old guards. So most of them succumbed. The only person who has survived up to now is David Otiende. In 2017, he lost, but went to court. A by-election was occasioned. David Otiende won. In 2022, David Otiende again came through his own political party, which he formed, MDG. The fact that David Otiende has been able to win against Raila's wave is something which, in my view, is difficult, considering the fact that he comes from Siaya County. So David Otiende having his own party is someone who should be watched. I don't know how he's going to relate with William Ruto. In fact, his move to join William Ruto for me was premature, if you ask me, and that might put him at bay with the Luo Nation. The Luo Nation don't like people like him, especially those hasty moves, but is someone who will have to be viewed. Number 7 is David Otiende. David Otiende, just like Babu Owino, is a different version of Babu Owino. When it comes to speaking, he's an orator. When it comes to books, Otiende chew books. He's one of the youngest. He served President Uhuru Kenyatta as one of the youngest CAS, Chief Administrative Secretary, and the only Chief Administrative Secretary who accompanied President Uhuru Kenyatta to an international event. So David Otiende is someone who should also be viewed. He has a name. He has done everything. In 2013, I think Otiende was one of Raila Odinga's strategists dealing with youth affairs. And lastly is Otiende Amolo. Otiende Amolo is also someone who should be watched very closely. One thing I know is that the person who is going to succeed Raila Odinga will emerge. Might not emerge from this group, but that person will emerge. If he will emerge through this group, it will be because of two factors. The first factor is finance. Who will be able to have people financing him? The goodwill. Number two is politics. You know, sometimes you win people through your initiatives. And that's why my list still narrows to two people, Babu Owino and Simba Arati. Thank you guys. Until next time, Lee Makwiny.